so I'm just going to start recording.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to just give me like a quick tour of your kilns. Kiln? Is it with an N?
I have, yeah, it's an N, but I have two. I haven't used this one in a little while because it's like you have to have more stuff to fill it, and it doesn't make sense to fire unless you can fill the whole thing. It's like a waste of energy. So I mostly use this one. Don't look at the top. I made a very bad mistake, and my tarp was like blowing around, and it. So this is the burnt tarp, and my kiln actually like failed firing, so none of the cones are down, so I have to like refire them, but they're like halfway baked. They're like halfway there. These bend at very specific temperatures, so usually what you see, I have like mature cones inside, is like they're bent down to maybe here, and that shows you that it got to that temperature. So the fact that none of these are down means that it didn't get anywhere near. I saw where it got it. It got to like 2,000 degrees, which is like a bisking temperature. So that's like the first firing. So it didn't even get nearly hot enough, but that's okay. Luckily I have a kiln at work that I can fire at. So it's nice to have these at home, but I have backups elsewhere. It always happens when I have a market coming up, because like I have a market next weekend and I was trying to like cram, which is just, you should never do that anyways, because pottery takes time.
Yeah.
Box all this up and take it to work.
So you do this full time?
I work at a pottery studio in town, like 32 hours a week.
Okay.
and then on the days that I'm not working, I work in my studio here.
Got it.
But yeah, I would consider I'm doing it full time just because, like, even it's like I want to be involved. Even at work, I work at a studio. You know what I mean? So I'm like teaching classes, like running kilns, doing all the maintenance, like doing some admin work too, which is more boring. But like I have my hand in clay most of the time. So my hand's in clay most of the time, which is like pretty cool to be able to like do it for work and do it here.
I just want like it to be a conversation, and there's just a camera over the shoulder.
Accept that there's people that are going to be better than you at that specific thing. So I know there's going to be someone that's better at editing.
You know, and you could sit around and say, well, I haven't started on the main script because I'm waiting for it to be inspired, right? When you show up and you sit down and you go to your spot, the inspiration does come.
If I don't put my skin in the game, shed a bit of blood, how could I expect for the return I'm hoping for to be as severe as the sacrifice?
A lot of people will be like, I could never do, I have no idea how to do, and I didn't either, for the most part. It's just sitting down and taking the time to learn it once, and then when you do, it's like, oh my gosh.
Imagine you have a neighbor who's just talking to a phone with a camera on a tripod right in front of that phone, and my neighbors probably think I'm a whack job. Anyway, this episode is a phenomenal episode. I had a great time. EJ is someone who I went to high school with for 3 years, and without knowing it, went to college with for 3 years. We found out within the first 3 minutes of me showing up to her house, this beautiful Santa Fe house. We were when she had said, like, wait, you went to NAU? And I was like, did you go to NAU? And then I saw her tote bag on the wall that said NAU, and I was like, I graduated in 2020. She's like, oh, I graduated 2021. And it was like, since when? So apparently we've been going to school. We had gone to school together for 6 years. I hadn't really talked to her since maybe 9th grade, 10th grade. So it was cool to catch up with her, meet her husband, and most importantly, it was really cool that she got to, share her experience with me, both by telling her story, but also letting me put my hands in some clay and end up making stuff that I didn't want to fire. So in this conversation, we're going to be talking about process, the beauty of getting into clay work, And a little after, her husband made a comment about how she really is an evangelist for this artistic medium, and it's true. I mean, just the way she talks about it, and her story, I think is pretty cool, and it makes me want to start turning. So, without further ado, I'll hand it over to uh, the clip.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how'd you get into this? Like,
I started in college at NAU.
yeah.
I think I took a class on a whim. I wish I could remember like what motivated me to take a ceramics class. I think I took like one class in high school and I was like, this is cool. But then I took one in college and just like totally fell in love with it. It was my sophomore year and I had just gotten like basically rejected from the nursing program. And so I was kind of at this weird point in my college like life of, okay, this thing that I was planning on doing didn't work out. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? And so I really considered just completely pivoting and getting my degree in ceramics. But at that point, I was 2 years in and I didn't have any like art prerequisites. So I would have had to start all over because I needed all those prerequisites to like do the degree.
Yeah. Which both of those things are very common experiences.
Yeah.
We both went to NAU.
Yeah.
Just found out that
Yeah.
we were at the same school for
Yeah.
7 years,
I
not
could
just
not
4
believe
years.
that.
Or
Yeah.
I guess 6 years, because but
Yeah.
that's still wild.
That's crazy.
And those are two of like I feel like the most common things I heard at
Yeah.
NAU, which are I didn't get in the nursing program, it was too hard, or I
Yeah.
left the nursing program.
Yeah.
Which ironically, the other person I interviewed that I was just talking about also didn't want left the nursing program.
Oh, really?
At NAU.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
it was so competitive, which
Yeah.
is so funny because we so need nurses so badly.
right.
And I was like a perfectly good student. It was just like there were only so many spots in the program. I think that was a
I've
big
heard
part
that.
of
I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So-
the second thing is like not having enough credits to be able to transfer the stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's so very specific. It was so very specific. I'm sure. I hope they've changed some of this. but
I hope so too. After COVID,
yeah.
like you'd think the
Especially because everyone who like wanted to go to different school. I had friends who
Yeah.
wanted to transfer to ASU
Yeah.
in state,
so many
and
people
couldn't do
transferred to ASU.
and they couldn't do it because they're like none of my stuff
Oh.
transfers.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I had a friend who did. Yeah, basically had to start all over.
Oh my god. Yeah,
yeah.
see, I didn't want to do that. I was like, my parents were helping me, but like, I was like, I'm not gonna do an extra 2 years of school. That would be pretty stupid. Yeah. So I ended up just finishing my degree in biology and taking like every single class in ceramics that I could. I took one class twice and just built my own curriculum because the teacher always was on my ass about not being a major. He was like, why aren't you a major? Like, you're in here every day. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I just can't. Like, I can't spend an extra 2 years here. I don't have the money to do that.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense for me. So they accepted it, but... And
Which
they
is also crazy because I don't know about for you, but
Yeah.
NAU was the most affordable option I could find out of anything I looked at.
it was super affordable.
Yeah.
And I loved it there so
but it
much.
was very expensive. And
Yeah.
this reminds me so much. This place reminds
does.
me so much of Flagstaff.
It does. No, it does. And that it was like an easy transition for me because I was like, no, this feels like home. Like there's still pine trees. We're at elevation here.
Yeah.
Like
I
all
found
the
out
stuff.
7K
Yeah.
from an IPA I bought yesterday.
Yes, exactly. The 7K IPA
Yeah.
goals. But yeah, it was like it is very similar. The only thing different is like, well, a couple things, but it's not a college town. We don't
Right.
really have a university here. We have the community college, but
Mm.
that's not really what draws people. It's more of a draw for retirees. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I went through and just got a bunch of experience, took all the classes, spent all my extra time in school, like in the pottery studio, and I think my professor even like started trying to teach me how to use the kilns because I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to know how to run these things. And he ended up gifting me a wheel, which was really sweet. It's down there because it's like
It's somewhere.
it's a tabletop wheel. So the thing that bugs me about it is that it sits on a table, and then the way that you control the speed is a dial, and that's difficult.
Because it's
when-
taking your hands away from what
Yes,
you're
exactly.
doing.
The pro about this is that a pedal. controls this. So like my hands are free, so my feet can just control everything.
Yeah, it's like driving.
Yeah, it's actually like driving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I also teach classes in here
Okay.
to like 7-year-olds.
Great. I'll be at their level. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's awesome.
So, that's where all my tools are at. I can just play.
Oh wow. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna make art. It's gonna be great. So have you always been an artistic person? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so. I've always been like into different things. Like I experimented a lot in high school. And then I think I really liked ceramics because you can kind of make whatever you want. Like you can make anything. It's really cool. You can make big stuff and like functional stuff. Like you can make stuff that people use. I think that's maybe also why I liked it so much, because I'll make mugs and like
Yeah.
people use them every day. It's kind of like special,
I totally get that, and like, I don't know, it's the purpose behind it. It makes it so much more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like art that people get to handle every day, versus like a picture painting on your wall, which has its place, and like I love that too. But it's cool like making something that I know someone will like touch and use and drink out of and
yeah.
like share meals on, and it's a different thing.
Right here, because you're doing some cool stuff right there.
David was like, you should not make candles while he's filming you, because you'll see why. But I was like, well...
Because it's so basic, or...
No, because it just looks funny. You'll see when I'm on the second part of this. It's kind of awkward. Like, yeah, it's funny though. Anyways.
That's all good. Funny is awesome. Oh no, I don't have anything put under here. Oh, I do. Let's do this.
Do you need like a... Oh, okay.
There we go.
I was like, I have plenty of things. If you need something.
No, yeah. So going back, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I got distracted by the
That's
fact
okay.
that you're like doing work with your hands and it looks really cool. Should be on camera, But it's definitely difficult when I'm like, oh, I really want to like do both like the camera and interview.
Yeah.
So I get distracted
Oh,
really
totally.
quickly.
I don't care. It's all good.
So you're saying that you got into ceramics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I asked if you've always been into artistic things.
And I definitely have. For sure. But like I started out like I used to draw a lot, and I really like drawing. So I kind of, what's cool about my work is that I incorporate a lot of drawing into my pieces. That's called sgraffito.
Okay.
Here, I can show you. I can like bring it over here. So you're asking me questions, and I'm like,
No,
look at this stuff.
Yeah. So it's called sgraffito.
It's called sgraffito. So I paint it, and then I carve away. So it could even be like kind of a rough sketch, and then when I make the carvings, I like really like make it sharp and like can make the lines really clean, which is really fun.
My sister does that with like linoleum,
It's
like tile.
Ooh.
And she does it, and then she stamps things.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
she
so
has,
cool.
like,
So
really
like
cool stamps.
printmaking almost like
Yeah.
she carves, and then I love that
Yeah.
stuff. That's so cool. But yeah, so it's like that.
That's so cool.
yeah.
Oh, man. I wish I paid attention to that. I might have to order some more for Christmas. That is 100% what I'm getting my sister for Christmas.
Yes.
And it's a good thing I don't think she watches these, so she won't know.
We'll be like, don't watch it.
It'll
You're
be a
gonna
surprise.
hate it. But yeah, I've always loved like drawing, and then in high school I like what else did I try? Just everything. Like I took a 3D art class in high school, and so we did everything. We did like plaster and metal, and yeah. But I've always just like found it a good outlet for me.
Yeah.
To like be able to draw or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because like there's always like different expressions, and that's part of why I love talking to people who are creative, because I think everyone is creative, but
Yeah.
people who pursue it in their free time or like full on their whole life is trying to make it commercial for themselves, so they only have to do that.
Yeah.
But I always find it so interesting because the process is what it's really about.
Yeah. I tried it full time for like a year, but there was like the thing that surprised me about doing it full time that I wasn't cool with was how much time I was spending alone. Like I ended up, being at home alone all day and not having like any human interaction. Like
tough.
I didn't have any coworkers,
It's
you know
so
what I mean?
tough.
So it was like that was hard for me, and so I think kind of where I'm at now is pretty ideal for me because like the work that I do that I get paid for is still ceramics. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I get to have coworkers and like deal with people and teach people, and I love teaching. Yeah, and I also, that was when we lived out in Milwaukee, when we were out in the boonies, so like there was
So it was
like
easier.
nobody around, like really nobody. There was no chance I was gonna like run into a neighbor or something. Like I was...
Oh, you're for a 10-mile walk too.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah,
So.
and that's tough. I think that's so. I work from home.
Oh, you
my
do?
9 to 5, and that's one of the biggest things I have an issue with is
it's
like,
rough. If you're social at all.
yeah, and like I am decently social.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm extremely social, but
Yeah, you are.
it's always tough because you're just like, I want to like be productive, want to do stuff, want to make stuff, and like have this be the whole thing, but like we were talking about earlier, community is such a big part of human
Yeah.
existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big part of it. And this is so great because, like, I've had, I have friends in town, and sometimes when I'm cramming, but, like, I want to see them, I have good enough friends where they're like, oh, well, I'll just come and sit in your studio while you work and, like, chat with you. And I'm like, oh, that's the best.
That's
but, like,
spectacular.
when I lived 30 minutes away, it was less like, I'll just pop over.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like a commitment,
Yeah, and like especially since you know your neighbors, and like
Yeah.
it's not just like, yeah, and like it's a lot easier to do those pop-ins. And
Yes.
that's one of the things I miss about NAU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
which
sure.
was like my friends would just like show up to my
Come
house.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss that too. I find myself missing the social aspects of college, but also like learning every day. Like I really miss learning all the time. Like I try to take workshops and stuff whenever I can because I just like I love it apparently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some mugs. You're not in the way. You're good. I'm just gonna be out of the shop. But we'll see. I thought for a while about going back to school and getting a master's so I could teach at a college level. But I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards.
Yeah. The masters is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it could be beneficial, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It's a
to
lot.
it.
Yeah. But I would love at some point to take like some kind of like more in-depth like throwing workshop or something because I feel like ooh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm walking around
You're
blind.
good. Here, I'm gonna put this up.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know what I was just saying actually. Totally.
Pursue a master's because you miss
Oh
learning.
yeah. Yeah. But there's so many like workshops out there that I could take instead. And there are fun ones like in Italy and like all over the world.
That's so cool.
I went to this there's this clay conference every year.
I love becoming an adult is realizing how many conferences exist and how many people go to
some
them.
are kind of fun. Like this was like the best thing I have gone to. It's a different place every year, so it was in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
It's called NCCA, and I've been wanting to go since college because all the majors used to go for free. Like the
If you're, yeah.
ceramics program would like support them going, and so I never got to go, and I was always so jealous because I would see pictures and it just seemed like the coolest thing ever, because not only is there like a conference all day, but then during the night there's like pop-up markets around town,
Okay.
so you could see like the most talented potters like in the US, and
Yeah.
they just make the coolest, most diverse work that like is just super inspiring and fun to see. So I went to that, and it was like 4 days, and I went with a coworker and a friend, and it was like, I was like giddy the whole time. It was the coolest shit ever. And there were demos from people. There was specifically a demo from this woman, I think she's from Japan, and the way that she was throwing was unlike anything I'd ever seen, and I was like, what is she doing? Like, this is so cool.
The videos I see, these like of just Japanese like master work being done, or like I'm sure you've seen it, that potter who like makes tea kettles and
Yes,
like they're
I have.
seamless, and
People always send me that, and I'm like, that will never be me.
you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. Or they'll send me like that crazy Russian guy, and I'm like, this guy, like, there's this guy, and he just throws really fast,
Oh.
and he makes it look like so seamless, and I'm like, ugh, I know this guy. Thanks for sending it to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've seen this one.
I've seen this one. Other times, people, like, my friends send me stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I should make, like, an herb stripper or whatever. I'm not always cranky about it.
Yeah, because, like, well, so I filmed a comedy show on Friday night.
Oh, yeah. How was that? I saw that you were doing that.
Oh, it was great. I it's a monthly one I get to do.
Yeah.
And I
Where is
enjoy it. Tempe.
Okay.
And I enjoy it because I like comedy, and I think it's also a different kind of creative. Because, like, a lot of creative is like, I don't know, it's just such, like, in the moment, they do a lot of improv, in the moment, like, entertainment, which just kind of really lends itself to some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things
I love improv.
it's great.
Is it? It's only once a month?
Yeah. So it's the last Sunday of every month.
Okay. I'm going to Phoenix in September. I'm trying to think if I'm going to be there for that. I don't think so.
I think the 30th might be the last Friday.
Okay, yeah, I won't be there for that. Another time.
We might move it up. That happens too.
Okay.
Like, it's not the
I'll text
last
you.
Friday of the month because Labor Day weekend is this weekend.
Oh, right.
And we're like, we don't
No.
want to. We don't want to have to make people say no to us.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No worries. But one of the things that's really cool about it is like the episode I released on Friday.
Yeah.
One of the producers of it, he was the guest on the show, and we were talking about the show he did back in March, where he had this essay that he was writing because he's reading because he's a writer.
Oh, okay.
And in the essay, he talks about like this corporate group being in the bar that he's in, and he feels like it can be cut out of he's like going back and forth on whether or not to keep it in the script or not.
Okay.
And someone's like, you know what, you wrote it for a reason, keep it in there.
Yeah.
And so he does, and then last minute before the show starts, one of the bartenders gets 20 people in a group to come to the comedy show, and it's a corporate group.
Oh.
And so it was like this really weird thing where he was like, I don't know if this is funny, I don't know if I should keep it.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, no, keep it. And then it ended up landing really well with the audience because they were literally in that experience.
Yeah.
And it's just
that's
like so
great.
unique because stuff like that happens.
Yes.
Or just like, because improv is, again, just going off the cuff, and that's not improv, but it was crazy that happened. So it's fun because you get to see people like their mind firing and doing that kind of work.
I'm going to run right behind you real quick.
Man, this is beautiful. I'm trying to make like an incense.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. You could just have to make a hole in the middle.
Yes.
Here's your, let's see, you could use this.
Perfect.
These are all tools you could use too.
Oh my goodness. I'm so good. So you always kind of liked art.
Yeah.
Drew a lot.
Drew a lot. Whatever I could get my hands on, really. Like, I tried everything. I tried watercolor, like melting crayons. You know, everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
Collage.
So for you,
Mhm.
as far back as you can remember,
Yeah.
what has been that? Do you think it coincides with that learning aspect?
Like
The
what do
fact that
mean?
you like have this like
Drive.
this drive, yeah, that I was gonna say thirst, but yeah, drive's even better to learn more and like
Yeah.
do more and
Well, I think part of it is that I have a hard time sitting still. And so, like, having something, like, physical to, like, as an outlet, even if it's, you know, when it was drawing or, like, whatever other mediums, they're all very physical. And they all kind of put me in this place, like, mental space where it was, like I was kind of mentioning before, it's kind of hard to focus on anything else. So you're completely, like, absorbed in what you're doing.
present, yeah.
Yeah, you're very present, and, like, then you get this result of, like, this thing that you made, and it's, I don't know, it's just really special. I just love that feeling. I think that's always where it's come from. Like, even when I was, like, 12, I had a phase where I would draw mandalas, like this.
Okay. I did not know that's what that was called.
But,
I did not know that's what that was called.
yeah, like, radiating drawings that, like, come out in, like, repeating patterns are mandalas.
Wow.
I had, like, a big phase where I would just draw mandalas all the time.
It was also like had a big thing at the time. My sister did the same thing.
Yeah.
And like had tapestries for that as well.
Yeah.
But it's like it's also like that process of like being very present because you have to
Yes.
get the detail and
You have to get the detail, but also it's kind of like not monotonous necessarily, like meticulous. Like you're paying attention to all the detail, but it's a lot of like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like mesmerizing. It's almost like meditative.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
And it definitely is like a shortcut to flow state.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm always chasing is that flow state.
It's addictive.
It's super addictive because it's just a great place to put your mind in, and now I actually we discovered this meditation center like 15 minutes from here, so we go when we can, but it's similar where like there's nothing else you're doing besides sitting there and just like being with your thoughts, and I found it like the first time I did it I was like, oh, this is like where I go when I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's a little more difficult because you're not actually doing anything physically, so you really just have to sit there and be like, with your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is like, I feel like a more subconscious way of like processing, not even like bad stuff, but just like what's happening in your life and like conversations you had and like thinking about your life. I don't know. It's good to, I feel like a lot of people live their life without taking any time to think about what they're doing, and even and like you kind of just get into weird places by doing that. Like I think places that you're not necessarily even happy with, but I feel like if you take the time to like sit and think about it and think about what you want and where you're going, that ends up being really good in the long run.
And meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's also, it's really hard to think about.
Yeah. It is. And
that stuff.
It can be like kind of scary to like sit and think like, okay, where am I going with my life, you know, or like whatever it is. But it kind of allows like this safe space for that where like you don't necessarily have to sit there and really think about it, but you are processing it. So, like in the background, I think.
Okay, yeah. So like it's almost like freeing up your conscious mind,
Yeah.
so that your subconscious can do the process in
Yeah.
the background,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can actually kind of intuitively come to like more
Better.
meaningful
Yeah.
decisions. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Because and so like was it because of the meditation center, or have you like had that kind of feeling with a lot of this work that you do already?
I think when I went to meditation, it made me realize that I had been doing that for a while. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a familiar feeling.
Yeah, it's quite spectacular when you can kind of get so much out of like it's a big thing where there's a book I told someone else I was going to try and read recently, and I it's not even read. I want to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of a
I love audiobooks.
commitment.
I listen
right?
to a lot of audiobooks when I'm...
Oh yeah, it's so great because then also you're almost downloading the information in the background.
Yes.
I used to go on a tangent. I used to in class my freshman year of college would like, because they're all like 100 level classes.
Yeah.
I would
boring.
just draw houses. Like Adobe houses mainly,
Really?
but like houses, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then like the people around me would be like, then you'd come up to like a clicker question.
Yeah.
And the people around me would be like, oh no, what is it? What is it? And then I'd be like, it's C. And they'd be like, what?
How do you, you're not even paying attention.
You're not
How
even,
do you
yeah,
know that?
you've been drawing for the past, and I'm like,
You're like, no, I'm listening.
I'm listening. I'm
yeah.
just taking up this active center of my brain.
Yes. Yeah, I find that really helpful too.
But
Because like if I'm not doing like two things at the same time, I'm like, I'm bored.
it's bad.
Yeah, it is kind of bad. But also, I think it's okay.
Oh
think
yeah, oh
it's
yeah.
Totally like
no,
a
it's
way that
how it
people
works
learn.
for you.
Yeah.
What is it? My old roommate can't do that, and so he
Yeah.
used to always come into my office or my bedroom because we lived, we shared space, so I
Yeah.
didn't have an office.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "So, how many screens do you need to have running?" And I'm like,
What was
"Just."
your answer?
I was like, "What do you mean? There's only 2." And he's like, I think you should recount that because you have your laptop, you have your monitor playing TV, you have your phone doing something else." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I think it was like 4 screens going, and
That's
he's just
so
like,
funny.
"What are you doing?"
This is why David was telling me not to do this.
Oh
it
yeah,
looks
because
funny.
it's a.
He's like, you should not do that. I was like, this is part of it, so I don't know.
This is part of the job. What I'll do is I'll just like censor it. It'll be funny. It'll be a bit. Yeah.
You should. No, I always make bad jokes to my students when I'm teaching them how to pull handles. They're like, that's great.
The second I saw you do it, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is
but
it.
hey, I mean,
This is what it
it's
is.
how I mean, it makes sense. Like when you see like how things are, it makes more sense once you've seen them be made.
Yeah.
How it works. Like it's always been crazy to me how a lot of parts of pottery get made.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now I know.
And you wish you didn't.
Yeah. I forgot. So going back to where
Yeah.
the tangent started.
Oh, yeah.
The book's called Slow Productivity, and it talks.
Okay.
It supposedly talks about, because again I haven't listened to it yet, but it supposedly talks about how you can take those moments to just like really be present and
Yeah.
just relax and just go away from this busy mindset of like what's next, what am
Yeah.
I getting,
Oh, yeah.
and that is going to allow you to space in your mind to actually do
Have time for
meaningful work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I notice too, if I'm in kind of a bad mood or stressed out and I just like take some time to be in here and do whatever it is that I need to do, like by the time I'm done, I'm in such a better headspace. Like I can't be mad. Like, you know what I mean? I do this and I'm like, okay, like I feel better now.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like rushing around in here, which happens every once in a while, but
That's part
for
of
the
it
most
too.
part, not. Yeah. But yeah, I think slowing down and letting yourself process stuff is really important.
Yeah, it's and like that's one thing I'm trying to get better at, because like when I was a kid I used to always just turn on the TV or
Yeah.
like find a way to kind
Well,
of like
Yeah. And especially for us, right? Like social media and just having everything at the tip of your fingers. Like
Yeah.
you can just like it's just all so fast. And everybody's kind of in this like addictive, like go, but it's so destructive. And that's what I kind of mean by like a lot of people are just like living, I feel like I'm preaching right now, but like just unconsciously they're just not thinking about what they're doing, because that's what the internet and like social media have like trained us to do, you know.
No, totally.
And this is like opposite of that.
I fully understand that, because like I recently decided to start like counting my calories because I've always been like opposed to it because I knew I ate a lot.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh, God,
when I started
tried that once. It's so rough.
Well, and my sister was always like, you know, be careful, it's a gateway to like
Yeah.
eating disorders. And I was like, I could
Definitely.
see that for sure.
Yeah.
But it was when I started consciously tracking my like eating that I realized how unconsciously I was eating.
Oh, yeah.
And like I would just eat like
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And like I would just eat until the thing in front of me was done and
Yeah.
then be like, oh, I kind of want some more. And it's
Yeah.
like,
But yeah.
but when you like take the time to like measure out the food, and it sucks, and I don't recommend most people do it unless your goal is to like not enjoy food as much.
Yeah.
But the point of it is like that intentional, and I don't know if you've heard or read Atomic Habits, but they talk about how like in order to be successful at things, you have to find a way to like measure it and be or no, that's a different book. But the intentionality of like knowing, being aware of how much you consume is going to help you consume less or more
Definitely.
if you need to. If you need to consume more of a certain like protein or something
Yeah.
like that. It's very tough because there is that, and I find myself doing it too because like recently whenever I get downtime I just immediately go on my phone and I go for Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
And it's like
Yeah, it's automatic. You don't even realize you're doing it. You know?
it's
crazy.
hardwired in.
It's so scary. It's
It's-
like, fuck, they're winning. They're like taking over our brains.
Well, and then there's like the other things that I've realized, like unconscious spending. That's another thing.
Oh, God,
Like,
yeah. I also struggle with
with
that.
Apple Pay,
Oh,
there is
it's so bad.
absolutely
You
no
don't even
thought.
have to take your card out. You're just like, bing, and then you're like, okay, there's another $20 down the freaking drain.
The most embarrassing thing that's happened to me recently, and
Yeah.
it's totally internal. I don't have to share it, but I'm going to. Was I went to a store the other day,
Yeah.
and I left my phone in the car because I was pumping gas, and I was like ran in to get an energy drink, and I was like, all right, let me I got my wallet, I got my keys, so no one
Yeah.
can steal my car.
Right.
Um,
Glad you did that.
yeah.
That's not the embarrassing thing. I'm glad.
Yeah, and so I go into the store and I grab like an energy drink, and then I go to the counter, and as I'm putting the energy drink down,
Yeah.
my thought was, how am I going to pay for this? My phone's in the car. And when I left the car, I was like, I got my wallet, I
Yeah.
can pay for something.
Yeah.
And the fact that
By
I
the
only
time-
pay Apple Pay now
Yeah.
because it's so much easier
Yes.
than like fiddling around in my wallet, that
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God. Yeah.
They've fully just indoctrinated me.
They have. Yeah.
It's,
No, but I don't know anybody who's not like that, you know, like it's impossible to avoid unless you literally aren't a part of the world, you know.
right. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there I am. I'm not even in the frame. That's
Oh,
crazy.
no.
I was like, I don't need to be though. And it,
Sorry, I said I was going to work over here and then I totally like ended up working.
no worries. I've had you in focus the whole time, so that's
Okay.
all I really
Cool.
care about. But yeah, the conscious focus on things is a very important part. Do you find that there's a ritual or a process you have to go through to get to the flow state, or is it just kind of like, yeah, like how do you start a session when you're just in here by yourself working?
I think it depends on what I need to be doing and what's coming up. So like, you know, if I have a market coming up, I start sometimes by like making a list of what my goals are for that market. If I don't have anything in process, usually, because the thing about ceramics specifically is that like it takes such a long time that usually like things are in process for a while. So like I threw those like 2 days ago, and now yesterday I trimmed them. So like I like cleaned up the bottom, and now I'm putting handles on them, and then next step is putting the design on them. So like usually I'll have something in process already, and if I don't, like most of the time I'm just like, okay, am I throwing just like cylinders basically today, or is there a form that I'm making? And then as soon as I like know what I'm making, I like pre-ball all my clay. So like I just get, basically you start with like a hunk of clay, like
Oh wow.
just like a block, and then I cut it up and I weigh it all out. That's how I kind of get like consistent sizes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm seeing the scale.
Yeah, there's a scale, so I just like weigh all the clay out, cut it up, and then ball it up. So I usually do like a whole 25-pound bag because I throw a lot at once.
Yeah.
Like 20 to 40 pieces, depending on how much time I have.
Yeah.
And then
So yeah, 20. That's what, like 5 minutes. That's crazy.
my average is like 6 minutes a piece to
Really?
throw. Yeah, and I'll show you.
Yeah.
I will show you. But I've gotten a lot faster, and it's really satisfying, like getting my time down.
Yeah.
Because like that's part of production pottery is like, can I make this? Like you're thinking about how much time it took you to make the piece, and then like materials are pretty low.
Yeah.
For pottery, but like the time is big. So like, can I make this in an amount of time that makes sense for how much I'm selling it for? So like getting that time down is really
That's the whole
important. And just like I'm trying to make like a ton of stuff so that I have work for my markets and like to actually bring with me. So like I have to have enough too. And like I usually have one market a month. So like I have like a month to like restock. Usually I'm not selling out completely, so I have like a little bit of back stock.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't
But,
know why
like,
I started
you do have a
talking
good-
about that.
Well, because
Oh,
I was
you were talking
asking
about
about like
ritual.
getting like if you
Yeah.
have a way to get into flow state.
Yeah, so
Or-
like I just like usually it's just prepping what I'm doing. So like that might be, you know, making balls of clay or just bringing things through the rest of the process. So like if I have anything in process, I'll like work on that first before I start new stuff, cuz like you also have to keep in mind how wet it is and or how dry it is and how much time you have left to work on it before it's totally dry. Cuz by the time it's bone dry, like that's too late to do anything unless you're doing stuff later in the process. But like if I want to do any of my designing, like painting on it, like that has to be done at this stage. It's called leather hard.
Got it.
But yeah, so like as far as getting into the flow state, I feel like as soon as I come in here and I start working on anything, I usually get a podcast on because I really like listening to stuff now. David's infected my brain. Now I listen to stuff all the time. I used to just listen to music, and now I like.
It's hard after you go to like podcasts and
Yeah,
audiobooks
can't
to
go
start
back.
like listening to music because it's like
Yeah.
you're saying so little.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I listen to a lot of true crime too, so that's probably not good.
It's like
But
it's a thing.
It's interesting. I'm not bored. I get bored by other stuff at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I start listening to something, like I find an episode, and then as soon as I get my hands on it, like I'm there. I think when I first started, and I wasn't as good, and I wasn't making like large batches of stuff, it was harder for me to get into it right away because it was more frustrating. But now that I like know what I'm doing, and have like a plan, like I just immediately fall into it. But like when you're first starting, like I see my students, like they're focused, but they're not in a like a nice mental state. They're kind of like, you know, like,
yeah, it's once you get the muscle memory,
yeah,
that you can really start to like hit that, and then that's really where that point happens for you. And it's a good point that you brought it up, like when you're in a productive mode, like a production mode.
yeah,
having to bring that time down, and that's what the flow state can help
yeah,
do.
yeah,
But it's really, you got to go through the ritual or the practice, and you got to
yeah.
get the reps, and you got to get going.
yeah. I felt really bad. This girl that was starting out, like she was practicing while I was working at the studio one day, and she finally like got a good cylinder, and I was like, nice, now do that 100 more times. And she like brought it up later as something she'd been like, oh, and I was like, oh man, that probably did come off like so dick, but like I really was being genuine. Like
That's
is
great.
really what it
Yeah.
is. Like I'm so happy for you, but you now have to do it again like that another 100 times.
Oh,
Um,
which yeah, it's like,
so mean. I like heard myself saying it later, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably should have been like, I could have said that in a gentler way, maybe. Like
those are the worst thoughts when you're like 2 hours, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
you're like, Oh, that happened to me last week. I went to a coffee shop and this
Yeah.
lovely barista was just asking me about my day and my work, and I was not in a good mood. So I was like,
Yeah.
just like really not wanting to talk about it. And she kept
Yeah.
trying to talk to me about my job, and I was just like,
I don't want to tell you.
so I was just like really like rude, and I felt
Yeah,
so bad.
I
'cause
know.
It's like haunted me. It's hung
Yeah.
over my head for the past week.
I have shit like that all the time. But
Wonderful.
it's all good. I'm sure she didn't take it personally. I'm sure she gets it all the time as a barista when people
Yeah.
don't have their coffee yet.
Oh,
God.
yeah. Well, and the worst part was we had already had like several interactions, and I
Like,
they were
at
all
different
positive.
times?
No, that day.
Oh.
So like I showed up, and I asked for my first coffee because I apparently have a caffeine. What you found out today is I have a
Yeah.
caffeine problem.
Yeah.
I got my first coffee, and asked for the Wi-Fi, and they told me the Wi-Fi, and then I tried to get on and couldn't, and then I tried 10 more times and
Oh
still
no.
couldn't.
So
then
you're
I went
getting
back
frustrated.
up. No, so then I went back up and asked for the then to help me with the Wi-Fi, and
Yeah.
they did,
Okay.
and that was great.
Okay.
And then after I got Wi-Fi, I was doing some work, and I had like this email exchange where I had to like repeat myself for like 5th time with this person,
No.
and they had said something kind of like they said something that could have been like nice,
Yeah.
but I read it as like mean. They're like, I still don't understand what you're saying, and I was like, how do you not understand? I've said it 5 different ways. So I was upset, and like I stepped away from my computer to get my second cup of coffee, and she's
Your
like, "What do you?"
9th cup of coffee.
yeah, my 10,000 milligrams of caffeine, and she's like, "Oh, what are you working on?" And I was like, "I just email people," and then it just like,
Oh,
yeah, and so it got
no.
yeah.
That's okay.
But it
Just
happens.
email
Yeah,
people.
yeah, because that's what it felt like in the moment, which is definitely not true.
Yeah.
Like, but it just felt like that in the moment, and I was just like, I don't really like. I guess I could have said something like, "Hey, I don't really want to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's whoever I was emailing."
Yeah, I get like that too. I feel bad for whoever's on the receiving end of it, but everyone has those days, you know?
Yeah,
So
and that's what I had to remind myself. I was like, it happens to
it's
everyone.
okay. Yeah.
We talk about intentional thinking and what you want from something, and like really deciding what you want. I had no idea what I wanted from this, and it shows.
That's okay. It's also
Like,
fun to just play.
That's what I'm doing.
That's
I tried
fine.
out the first
Yeah.
ball I used. I was like,
Yeah.
we'll just grab some more.
It's all good. This is also, I'm pretty sure this is recycled clay.
Okay.
So one cool thing about working at that studio as well is that we buy a bunch of new clay from our local clay distributor, which is New Mexico Clay. It's the only clay distributor in the state, I'm pretty sure. And when we use that, we keep all the like scraps of things, and then we dry it out and like rehydrate it. This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
But we can put it in this thing called a pug mill, and it like remixes all of the clay, like because it's all different kinds of clay that have to be mixed together.
Okay.
And then we sell it at like half the price because it's like who the fuck knows what's in there.
Right.
But it's really good clay, and you can make it like as kind of soft as you want it, and you know, to whatever
That's so cool
specs
too.
you want. So, but it's cool because it's like way more affordable, and it's still just good clay. So that's what
Yeah.
I use a lot of the time, unless I have like specific needs for some reason. Like I started working with some porcelain, which is kind of a different ball game because it's like throwing with cream cheese, which is
Oh,
actually
wow.
you'd think it would be simpler and easier because it's like softer and you don't have to push as hard, but it's so fragile
That sounds
and
miserable.
sensitive. But I'm kind of liking it
Okay.
for like small things.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. Like that's the thing. Pottery's always been like this kind of ethereal
Yes.
vague thing in my mind.
I think it is for most people.
Yeah.
People ask me, they're like, "Where did you dig this clay up?" And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Oh,
I
you
don't
know,
even know where
my
to start
backyard.
with. Yeah. And of course, why would you think anything else if you haven't done it before? But
Right.
it's just funny. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No.
cracks me
It's
up.
like like there's so many things like that. Like that happens with like my work too. Where
Yeah.
people are like, oh, they'll see my like video camera,
Yeah.
which is pretty much just a dedicated like it's like you could make a Netflix documentary on it.
Yeah.
But people see it and they're like, "Oh, could you take my photo?" And you're like, "I can, but it's only like it's got as many megapixels as your iPhone has more megapixels." And they're
Yeah.
like, "What does that mean?" Well, then why did you buy it? It's like, "Oh, because it's good at other stuff."
Because it's what I need for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Do you really want to know this?
Yeah. That's the thing. You're like, I can tell you, but if you don't want me to nerd out right now, you need to tell me right now before I get into it.
Oh, that's great too. Because, yeah, I was talking to someone Friday night, and I was like, oh, I got this receiver for audio, and almost immediately I could tell he just did not.
Yeah, he was, like, tuning out.
Yeah, and then
You're
he's
like,
like, well, I'm going to go, and I was like, have a good night.
Yep, you're like, bye. So I teach adult classes, too, at this studio that I work at on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
And, I walk them through everything, but, like, they're there to learn how to throw, right? But, like, usually when I am walking them around the kilns and stuff, I always, like, end up getting a little bit too in depth, and I'm like, this is what cones are, and, like, this is how the kiln fires, and, like, this is how this happens, and I can just see them, like, starting to die.
Like, glaze over?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so now we'll do a demo so you guys can get on the wheel. But, I don't know. For me, it's, like, the technical parts have become just as important as everything else, and so interesting, and, like, kind of back to the original point of, like, I love learning, and so, like, I've never really been interested in more of the hard sciences, like physics and math and stuff, but there's a lot of physics and math with kilns.
But
so,
when it becomes a part of something you
Yeah.
care about...
oh, I'm like, oh, this is so sick. Like,
Yeah.
I'll learn about this. I'll learn about how the electrical current is traveling through the kiln and how that... Because, like, I have my own kilns now, and so sometimes shit gets fucked up, and I have to fix them. And so
Right.
then it becomes, like, a necessity for me to, like, know how to do this stuff.
Oh, it's the same thing with the cameras. Like, it's basically, like, you have to understand how light works.
Yeah.
And, like, wavelengths and other aspects of that stuff. And so when people were like... Someone asked me once if I thought there was a camera that could pick up, like, gas in the air.
Whoa.
And it was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, I wonder why they were asking that.
Well, so they were trying to figure out, supposedly. I don't know. There's I feel like if I tell people this story, they're like, and you believe this guy?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the whole story. It's a very unique story. So he opens up seeing me hold a camera, and he asks, do you think there's a camera that can, like, see gas in the air?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's a very interesting question. You know, I don't know enough about the camera technology to really register that. But from my vague high school understanding of physics, it seems like something you could possibly, like, see through, like, how the light is directed into the camera.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I ask because I'm going to work in Dubai for one of the Saudi princes there to figure out, you know, how they have this dust settling part. And he was explaining this whole thing, and I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Is he a scientist?
Seems so.
Okay.
You know, like, it was a science event.
Oh, okay.
And I was interning there at the time, and for the video, obviously.
Yeah.
And so then he starts saying this stuff, and then he starts walking me through, and basically, like, decided he wanted to tell me something about cameras is really what was the situation.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I actually invented, like, the first prototype for a hoverboard that they use for other things today and stuff like that. I was like, that's
What?
really cool.
Yeah.
And then he goes, or maybe that was someone else, but this was the part where I got so confused
Yeah.
how we got there, because different backstory, I was working at an editing job where I had to have my hands on the keyboard the whole day,
Yeah.
and I started, like, getting carpal tunnel
Yeah.
in these extremities,
Mm-hmm.
and in my ring finger and my pinky. And so he's like, yeah, I've found a way to detect and classify 93 different species of alien on Earth. And I was like,
Oh, tell me more about that.
really? He's like, yeah, and the most common one, what happens is when someone loses the will to live, our government has a contract with the Andromeda aliens, and they'll come in, and they're lizard people, and they'll take over, they'll replace the soul in these people.
No.
Oh.
And you can identify them by the fact that they don't have any strength, because the Andromeda aliens only have these 3 fingers. They don't have these 2. So you can identify them because they don't use these. So if they're holding like a glass, they put their pinky under the glass. And I was like, okay, first of all, it's something I do because I now have carpal
maybe
tunnel
you're
here.
an alien.
And then I was like, oh my gosh.
Am I an alien?
Am I an alien?
Yeah.
And so it was a very unique situation.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and like that was.
So he's not a scientist. 'Cause he
It's possible. It's
There's
just
no
you know,
way. Oh my
but it was a
God.
very unique situation.
That's crazy. There's always at least one crazy person at a science event that thinks they've discovered something insane.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about those situations, for me at least,
Mm-hmm.
is it seems to happen where it starts with just a nice conversation, and
Yeah.
then it cuts.
They just somehow jump into.
They
It's
jump.
funny how if you get people comfortable enough to talk to you, like that, and you give them the space, it's wild the shit that starts coming out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't feel like many people actually do that, where they're just like, they actually are curious. Like, a lot of people are not really curious about what someone else has to say.
No.
And so when you run into someone that's like, no, tell me, like, I'm interested, people are like, oh my god, let me tell you everything, actually. Like, let me tell you my whole life story and about aliens and how they're real and they're here.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Like you said, it's just that, you know, most people aren't curious.
Yeah.
And they're not going to ask. But if you take the time, and I think that's an interesting theme that keeps coming up in this conversation, is just taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
Opens up a lot of different potential, because it's the same thing where it's like it opens up the potential for they feel comfortable, they feel heard, and then they can say some of the stuff that maybe they don't share with everyone. But
Yeah.
it's interesting
So
because
there's no
that's
space for
happening.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I love people, and I love talking to people, and I've definitely become more introverted, but that has stayed. Like, I'm still interested in what people have to say, and yeah, it's just it's just fascinating how people will be like, oh, you actually want to know? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Oh my god.
One of the things that hurts me is when someone says, "Oh, I'm boring you," or "I'm sorry if I'm talking too much," because
Yeah.
I get that. We've all been
Yeah.
there where we're like, "Okay, I am talking too
I can
much,"
definitely tell.
And I can
I'm
tell.
losing you here.
but like at the same time, it's like when people can't identify that,
Yeah.
like, they can see that. It like when they say it out loud, it's like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry I've inconvenienced you by
Yeah.
talking." And it's like, "No, I want to
No,
listen.
it's okay.
I'm sorry if I'm just kind of zoning out a little
Yeah.
bit, but that's I'm working to listen."
Yeah. Yeah, listening, I feel like, is a skill that not everyone has, surprisingly. You do.
Yeah, we'll see. I've really been locked in on the drying out this clay. That's all I've been focused on.
Perfect.
But no, it's yeah. Listening is, well, I watched Ted Lasso, and that show was great.
I never watched that. Was it good?
I loved it. I mean,
heard that
it's
from a lot of people.
it's great, but there's a part where he quotes. I want to say Mark Twain, but
Okay.
it might be it's someone, some
We'll have to
American
edit that
author.
in later.
Yeah.
And put words that says, it was this.
It was this person. But it was like, don't be judgmental, be curious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of a very interesting thing, because I think a lot of people like will just immediately cast judgment and like decide, and then there's the people who are just like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
And you can learn a lot more, and like if you don't
it's
have
so
that,
much more interesting to live that way of just being like, tell me more. I'm curious.
yeah, and like it provides people with opportunity to
Yeah.
be heard.
Yeah.
As far as this goes, I see that you got one more handle,
Yep.
so I wanted to give you time.
Yep, and then I'll jump into throwing.
That sounds great.
Cool. A big part about wheel throwing is that it's not immediately gratifying
Yeah.
for most people. Probably for everybody. It's really challenging.
I've heard.
I can throw too, because I have a couple things just to show you like what that's like too. But it's something that you have to like focus on completely. You can't think about anything else, especially when you're starting and you're like, you just got a demo. You're thinking about 9 things that you're supposed to be doing at the same time. Like, you're completely focused on the one thing. And so it's therapeutic in that way, where, like, if you just came from work or you have something stressful going on in your life, like, that just disappears because you can't possibly focus on anything else. It just takes up all of your brain space. My dad, I had this thing at my wedding where the day after the wedding, I had everyone come to the studio that I work at, because we have more wheels. I have one here. So I was like, I'm not going to have 60 people show up in this tiny little, like, 1-car garage. So everybody came to my work and tried throwing, and I gave, like, a demo and everything. My dad made this.
That's just, I mean, that's...
He was really proud of it. I finished it for him because I was like, this is really cute.
Yeah.
But this is, like, as good as it gets on your first time.
But when you see someone who's experienced and done it,
yeah,
it's so hard, because it's kind of like watching, like, an Olympic or not figure skater, but like a speed skater.
Yeah.
Where it looks so effortless.
Yeah, it does. And, like, I teach a lot of classes, a lot of beginners classes. So, like, I've tried to, like, mention it, like, a couple times when I'm doing my demo. Like, I'm using a lot of pressure here. Like, I'm actually pushing really hard. It doesn't look like I am, but, like, I'm putting a lot of, like, force into this, and, like, try to let them know, because that's part of it, is, like, how much pressure you use, but it's hard to, like, talk about how much pressure you use. Like, I'm like, you kind of just have to try it, and then you'll see, like, well, that was too much pressure, that was not enough pressure. So yeah, it's hard. It's something that's, like, I feel like you just have to do a bunch of times until you don't make shitty stuff anymore. So,
and it's
yeah.
all of it. Like,
yeah.
A friend of mine on the last conversation I had
yeah.
was telling me, she's like, a lot of people see my stuff, my video stuff, and say, like, I don't know how to do that. I can't believe you do that. How do you even start doing that? And she's like, I didn't know at one point, but I just started, and then you start to grow off that. And it's I think that's the addictive property of it, is, like, you see that little incremental progress, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
I could do
so
it.
much better. Yeah. Start.
Okay, cool. So I throw a lot of stuff, and normally you have, like, these round bats that take up the whole thing, but I discovered this awesome, it's called a bat, like, space saver system. So this thing goes on the wheel, and then these just slide into it, and then when you're done with the piece, you can just take this middle part out, but it's a lot smaller than if you were using, like, a big thing. So then you can just, like, put these in there while they dry before taking them off, which is nice. The space is also another thing.
A huge limiting factor for, I feel like, anything.
Yeah.
Switch this up real quick. Maybe. Yeah. And, like,
Making it work.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh, if I take these lights out of their original cases and put them in this new case, does it help me at all?
Yeah.
No. This is going to be the coolest video yet. I'm going to be honest. This is so cool.
I'm so excited. I was thinking about putting it on my website, if that's okay with you.
You know what I can do? Is I can make a video for you for your website if you want.
Like, instead of the YouTube link or something?
Right. Well, so, like, so, like, one where it's kind of like, oh, like, we can get some clips of you talking about yourself, and then I can just put in the footage I'm getting around the side.
Oh my god, that would be great.
And then it's just like a quick, like, 1 to 2 minute video of just, like, hey, I'm Emma.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. That would be amazing. I would love that.
Like I was saying earlier, the big part of this for me is that I want to do more of this work that is meaningful to me
Yeah.
and kind of get into that flow state myself.
Yeah, totally.
And have this. And then the second part is that I really enjoy talking to people
Yeah.
and having conversations.
I can't tell.
no, would not have known. And so, yeah, it's like, how do I do that? Well, I can just interview people about doing creative things.
Yeah.
And then film it.
That's so awesome.
So quick. I was not. You
Yeah.
were not kidding about 6 minutes.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm going to do a bunch, so. As many as you want to get. Yeah, and then I just pop this out. Put it over here.
Would you mind explaining that again? Just because I may have missed the.
Oh, yeah. So, like, here, I'll show you. It's better with a visual aid. Usually, this is like a normal bat. I won't even take this off. So, like, you put this on and throw on this, and then when you're done with the piece, it's good to leave it on there for a couple minutes, or like up to an hour maybe, depending on how dry it is where you are. But this takes up a lot more room, and so I got this really cool space saver bat system where like there's like a house bat, and then you have these like little inserts that just pop in here. And then when you're done with your piece, you just pop out this middle piece, and you're able to like just have this, you know, especially if you're making like a ton of mugs like I am.
Yeah.
So it just makes more sense. And then I can, you know, I couldn't line them up in here like I can with these if I was working on those big things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah.
And they're also this weird, like, I don't even know what it is. It's some kind of wood-ish thing. So it slowly sucks the moisture out and, like, dries pretty quickly.
That's awesome.
Versus plastic is not going to, like, absorb any of that moisture.
Yeah. That's, yeah. Whenever I see things like that, those are things that when people are like, oh, I'm not a creative person, but they, like, do engineering.
Yeah.
I see things like that. I'm
Yes.
like,
There's totally, like...
there's a lot of ingenuity in there, creativity.
There's a big science pottery crossover.
And I think that's really where creativity kind of flourishes, is between the ethereal and, like, the technical. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is feeling and this is, like,
How
crass.
you make it happen.
Yeah.
So this is like the part where it looks like I'm just like doo-doo-doo, but I'm actually like using a lot of pressure and like putting a lot of my weight into it. And so beginners are like, ah! And I'm just like, press harder. Like,
You got it.
You can do it.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. The other thing that's, like, I think special about pottery is, like, people are not used to getting dirty like
Yeah.
this. And it just being okay. Especially kids.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I noticed with my 7-year-old, they'd be like, I'm dirty. And I'd be like, it's okay.
You're allowed
Like,
to be.
You can be dirty. This is the place to be, like, messy. And, like, it's all good. And it really excites them. Like, adults take it differently.
Right.
Some adults are like, I don't know if I like this. And I'm like, that's okay. Like... You can wear gloves if you want, but it's nice to just, like, lean in and be messy when, like, in all other aspects of your life, most people's lives probably, like, that is not the case, you know?
You have to be conscientious of...
The mess that you're making.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about having my own studio is, like, this is probably bad, but, like, I, like, never clean my wheel. Like, it's always has stuff in here. And, like, that's fine. Like, every once in a while, like, maybe once a year, I give it a nice deep clean. But, like, it doesn't need to be clean. It's just gonna get dirty again.
Yeah.
And it's just me. So, like, nobody
Who
else...
are you showing off for?
Yeah, why would I fucking clean it? Sorry, I've been cussing a lot. I hope that's okay.
I don't mind.
Okay.
It's who
Oh,
you
like,
want to be, you know?
I have a a tough time not doing that.
I think it's important that people just be themselves, and I always feel bad when like I see predominantly women talking about how like, oh, I cuss too much, or sorry if I cuss. It's like, because I've never had a man apologize to me for
That's
cussing.
a good point. Yeah.
Like it's and like a girl recently had done it, and I was like, why would I care if you cuss? Like, like it's a word that exists. Like, yeah, it's an interesting concept to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've had men say to me like, oh, women shouldn't cuss, and like,
oh my god, I don't care about them. I more just was caring about if you're putting this somewhere where they're gonna care about potty language.
I guess that's a good point too. Yeah.
I don't know if YouTube, like, because you're putting these on YouTube, right? And
yeah,
then,
but all my YouTube videos I already put like not
safe.
not intended for kids.
not safe for kids.
Well, because like they make you say like not made for kids or not, and then I think if it's just not made for kids, then it like if it's not intentional, like if it's not yoga gabba gabba or something, then you have to mark that. So not too concerned.
Sweet.
I didn't even think about that. I just immediately was just like, why do
fine.
people keep apologizing
That's
to me about
probably
this?
why, if a man thinks I should not cuss, I will call him a stupid fuckhead.
Rightfully so. I think it's very interesting when people are like, oh, yeah. I've had people ask me questions about different aspects of like, oh, if a girl does this, would you have a problem with that? I'm like, well, if I do that, do I have a problem with it?
Yeah, exactly.
No. So as far as like, because you teach, which is an interesting perspective from the question I'm going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to talk to yourself when you kind of first took that ceramics class at NAU, like just starting out, what would you kind of say to yourself or want to hear?
Oh, that's a good question. When I first started, I was in this really weird place of like not knowing where my life was going, and it was really scary because I was like halfway through school and like you're supposed to know at that point. That's what people like. That's the idea. That's the idea, at least. And so it was really like unsettling and like I was having a crisis about it. But at the same time, when I was in that ceramics class, I also had this female professor who was just like so sweet, so amazing, like really inspired me and made me think like, oh, I can do this. And the male professors were great too, but it was just like she was young and like it made it feel more approachable to me.
Right.
So I feel like probably what I needed to hear at the time, even though I still went for it. So hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go past EJ. But it's probably just like you're on the right track. Like keep trusting your gut and like this is what you should be doing. Like even though it's scary. Cuz that was the other thing, like I'd always thought I didn't want to do art professionally because you know, the starving artist scenario and like just it seems like hard and scary and like unpredictable and not something that like is necessarily needed like a doctor is or something, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, and there's definitely a narrative that like you as American need to be making money.
Yeah, need to be making money and like
how do you make
need to
money
make a
doing
way
that?
for myself and need to support myself. And so I just like immediately knocked it off like the list of potential things that I could do. Like I remember like maybe my senior year of high school, I went in my orchestra room during lunch one day because I was like, that's right, I eat lunch. And I was really close with my teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what I should do for my career. Like, help me. And so we like wrote a bunch of ideas on the whiteboard. It's just hilarious to think about. And I remember writing like artist of some kind and just immediately being like, that's just not I can't do that.
Realistic, yeah.
That's not realistic, because that's what everyone tells you too. Like,
I've had multiple people tell me, and like,
Yeah.
I had a similar thing in high school. I talked to someone who liked photography, and I was like, you should do photography.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like, you major in what makes you money, you minor in what, and I was like,
yeah.
And obviously I did not listen to that advice.
Well, and that's what everybody's parents are telling them, you know, like, when I told my dad that I was really getting into ceramics, I thought I was so scared that he was going to be, like, disappointed in me, or,
Yeah.
you know, like, telling me that I was wasting their money or something by taking all these ceramics classes. He didn't.
Oh my God.
He didn't say that.
Because that could be the way it goes.
It could have been. No, he always surprises me. And my mom too is like very sweet. But yeah, I think I just would have, like, once I found that in college, I would have just encouraged myself to, like, have a little more confidence in what my gut was telling me to do. I am glad that I ended up getting my degree in bio, just because I really love science.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing that. So I don't think I would have, like, told myself to, like, switch majors or anything. Because I don't know if I would have gained anything from that. Even though it's not like I'm doing anything with my degree
Per se.
for job stuff. But I feel like it really, like, made me is part of who I am, you know?
Yeah, like...
And that was the opportunity for that. Like, I can always take workshops. I won't always be able to take, like, chem classes, you know? So...
Yeah.
And I really liked my chem classes. And those classes have absolutely helped me with pottery. Like, I took a glaze chemistry class at NAU, and I was taking it at the same time I was taking a chemistry class, because that was part of my degree. And it was, like, the coolest shit ever. Because I was like, oh my God, like, I'm actually applying this thing that I'm learning right now, and I get what he's saying, and, you know, it was all clicking.
I think that, and I was talking to someone recently, like, that's, like, the definition of intelligence is not how much you know, it's how much
But
you
if
can
you can apply it,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you had a end goal for what this career or process, or, you know, what you see kind of vaguely in the future, what does it look like?
It's a really good question. 'Cause I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like every year, so I started my business, like, right after I graduated college, which is hilarious, because my stuff was definitely not. Now I would, like, never sell the stuff that I was selling back then. That's okay.
That's another thing with being creative and doing creative pursuits. You look at your old stuff
You're
and
like,
you cringe.
oh, anyone that has, like, an old mug, I'm like, let me make you another one for free. I just can't stand that you have that. But yeah, so I started it back in 2022. And I, like, got my LLC and started selling my work. And so every year since then, I've kind of, like, tried a different thing. So the first year I was doing everything, and it was completely overwhelming, because I've always, like, pretty much worked full time while doing this.
Right.
And I just do this, like, in all of my free time. And I have for years, but, like, I did everything. I did markets. I was trying to get, like, a website. I think I had an Etsy at the time. I was selling stuff there, like, trying to get into stores, like, just doing everything. Then last year I really focused on markets, and I was just doing markets all the time. And that was when I was also doing it full time. But, like, even full time, it was just so hard to keep up with doing that many markets, just because of, like I was saying before, like, the long kind of turnaround time on this stuff.
Yeah.
Because not only am I, like, is it taking a long time for me to make it all the way through, but then, like, the firing itself is, like, 10 hours to fire, and then, like, another 15 to cool, and then you have to do another thing to it, and then you have to fire it again.
And that's if it fires the first time.
And that's if it fires the first time. Yeah. So that was really exhausting. And so this year I decided to like dial it back on the markets because they were just like really killing me, and lean more into like wholesale, so selling to like coffee shops
Yeah.
and like stores and stuff, and I've been pretty successful with that. But I also, the other thing about this year that was kind of weird was that I was not doing any markets for the first half of the year, really, because I got married. And I was a little busy planning my freaking wedding.
That happens.
So I kind of like took, not a hiatus, I was still working on stuff, but I was like, I am not going to do any markets before this, because I also made 100 cups for my wedding, which was insane.
Yeah.
But they turned out really beautiful. I'm glad I did it.
That's like a different definition of DIY.
Yeah, it is, for real. So, anyways, the only place I was going with that was like, I really started getting into wholesale this year. It's going really well. This is like my board of stuff that I'm working on right now. So like a couple of these are Manzanita Market, that's a coffee shop in Taos. Barton's Flowers, that's a flower place in town. Sabo's a plant store. Fire of Sandia is a pour your own candle shop in Albuquerque. And then 35 Degrees North is a coffee shop in Santa Fe. So like I was leaning more into trying to get other people to sell my work because, you know,
because, and that's the thing about doing it as a business.
Yeah.
That becomes such a problem.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have to do all the other, like, you probably never thought you'd make me an LLC in your life.
No.
And it's something that you taught.
And I didn't know how to do that.
You're right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was so stressful. Paying my business taxes, like.
Oh.
It's.
And then you don't want to pay someone for it.
Yeah.
But like you also, like, I've had to do my own taxes for business, and it's simple.
It is now that I've like gone through it, but
it's so complex.
Yeah.
Like, it's unnecessarily, like, they make it so you
do.
have to like find people. It's
annoying.
Oh, but yeah, where the rubber meets the road is like for going from that transition from like, this is something I do to this is something that I do full time.
Yes.
Or like even like, you know,
just on your own, I think is the biggest part, because like I'm the marketer, I'm the social media person, I'm the tax doer, I'm the maker, I'm also the seller.
Yeah.
And I'm filling all these roles, and like a lot of small businesses, people that are running small businesses like wear so many hats, and it's just like, where do you find the time, you know?
Yeah, and like and then it's also, you have to like go over your weak points too. Like you get those get full, bright, and set. Like when sales comes up, I just don't like talking about myself.
And like money is so awkward. I'm like, that's $40. Oh, like, don't be mad.
Yeah, it's, and like there's some people who are like, oh, are you sure that's it? Or like they're like, no, like, I'm so happy to pay that. Like, that's a good deal. Or whatever.
Yeah, they always say, oh, it's so reasonable for like the amount of work that took you. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know.
Yeah, and then there's the other people who are like, for a lump of clay.
Yeah, I know. They're like, for that, just for one, and I'm like, bye.
Have a good time.
That's nice. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. And then like for me, the sales aspect, people are like, oh, how much does this cost? Or, you know, and I'm just like, difficult. And then again, another reason why I want to do this, because it's like, this is so not
transactional.
Yeah, it's more of a collaborative.
Yeah. Kind of.
Like someone's like, oh, like, tell me something exciting. I was like, oh, I'm going to Santa Fe to like shoot someone who does pottery. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Like, how do you like find that, and how do you get paid? Like, how much does that cost? And I was like, oh, no, I'm funding it. It's for me. And they're like, oh,
it's for me.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, yeah, no, it's zero. I get $0 for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's something I want to do, and it's again, like, it's that collaborative, creative effort.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry. I like every question you've asked, I've gone off on like a tangent and like lost your question. So sorry for not exactly answering that question. But I think where I want to end up ultimately is a little hazy right now, because I think originally I wanted a brick and mortar.
Yeah. I'm gonna move this in a little bit.
Yeah. But now I work for a brick and mortar. That's like kind of what I thought I might want to do eventually.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning the ins and outs of it and how complicated it is, and like I'm not sure if that's where I'm going anymore. Because it just becomes so much bigger, and then like you have to hire people, and like there's so much that comes with hiring people, and like trying to retain people and paying people and like paying rent, and you know, like it just becomes so much more complicated.
And then you gotta like find the right people. There's just so many different aspects to it.
So like I think it would be really cool to have my own space to like teach classes and make all the profit for that, because that is a really good source of income, and I love teaching.
Yeah.
So I could see myself potentially having like some kind of brick and mortar. I just don't know what that looks like right now, because I'm really learning the ins and outs right now of like exactly what it looks like to run a big pottery studio, and it's crazy. So we'll see. I'm kind of just like letting myself figure it out, and like nothing needs to happen right now, and I need to save so much money for that anyways, so like it's just something that I'll like keep kind of slowly getting to. I'm also like, you know, I'm 26, so like it's
you got
all
time.
good. I got plenty of time to figure
after
all that
25
out.
is a very interesting time period, because
Yeah.
you turn 25 and you start getting these thoughts of like,
Yeah.
oh no, I should start figuring things out.
Yeah.
This is like, I need to know this, that, and the other thing. But I recently just turned 27 and was like a few weeks out from it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be 27.
Yeah.
I'm so old. And then I was like, I'm
No,
about to be 27.
I'm not.
Like, I'm not even close to 30.
not even
Like,
close to
3
30.
years from 30 is not close.
No.
And so, yeah, it's like, of course, sure, I'm old, but not really.
Yeah.
Like,
It's weird the pressure that you start to feel, though. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something right now. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what, though.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. The pressures of society.
Just like going to college, right? Like
Yeah.
we were talking about. It's
Yep.
like one of those things where it's like, it's a pressure more than like a choice.
Yeah.
As far as this is going,
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good
Cool.
on it. We have a lot.
Yeah.
What I want to do is probably just readjust the angle, and then if they want to just chat or like hang around.
There's hangout areas.
Yeah, like, and like there's a chair there.
Yeah.
Like there's just
Yeah.
It's a good time, and like you can just hand them a lump of clay. It's
Yeah.
recycled, and if you need to, you can recycle it again.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, if you want to go for name,
Okay.
what you do,
Okay.
and maybe personal philosophy or something.
Okay. Personal philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, well, so like some people, it's like for some people that's just like, oh, I think art is meaningful expression or something like that.
So.
Yeah. Sorry, am I interrupting?
No, it's okay.
No.
We're just about to do the intro,
Yeah.
Cool.
and then
lunch
I think
tray,
we're
lunch tray.
done.
Whenever you feel like I'm good to start.
Yeah,
back
I
up
think
soon,
we're
man.
like
Yeah.
literally. This is like the last clip, kind of.
Yeah.
And then.
I'll get the coals going. They'll take like 30, 45 minutes. to
Okay.
heat up.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That's so cool. It's charcoal. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be. It can be also just like who you are too. That can be. I just think personal philosophy is a fun one because it's just like, or just a state like a quote you like. I don't know. It's just something that
Okay.
you feel like people should hear.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, perfect.
Hi, I'm
Or you
EJ.
can just,
Okay.
you could look at me.
I'm EJ. Let's see. What was it? I'm a ceramic artist.
Yeah, ceramic. Name what you do. and
Okay.
Something else.
Okay. I'm EJ. I'm a ceramic artist, and I think that in art you should do something even when you're bad at it, especially when you're bad at it. Just because.
I love that. That's awesome. I think that's great.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people stick away from it. Stay
Yeah.
away. Like I have
Yeah.
so many people who are like, "Oh, I'm not creative like that." It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, or like with this, right? People expect to be good at it right away. It's so funny. Every time someone sits down, they're like, "Oh, this is going to be easy. I can just do it." And it's never how it is. And it's people aren't used to being bad at stuff. When you're an adult, like you've been in a career for a little while, or like you've been in a job for a little while, like you're good at it, and you don't do things that challenge you anymore. And so I think it's really important to be bad at something and then like get good at it, but like be okay with being bad at something. It's like really healthy to just be like, it's okay, actually. It's totally fine.
I'm starting, and like, I see people on like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, doing this stuff, but they've been doing it 4 years.
Yeah.
Or they might have just lucked into being further along at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think there is that feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to be good at this, or I should be good at this. It looks so easy, and then that mind-body connection doesn't click in, and then
they're like, they're so hard. People are so hard on themselves too, and so it's good to like, it's good for teaching people to be gentle on themselves. Like a lot of times I'll see people struggling with it, and I'm like, just have a good time. Like, don't put pressure on yourself. You're not going to make anything today, and that's okay. Like, just figure it out. Figure out what it feels like. And so, like, giving people the freedom to, like, not stress themselves out anymore is really cool to watch. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think this has been so cool, and I'm very excited for lunch. It sounds really good. But no, this is fun. Like I said, like, just the hands-on practice is just so enjoyable.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your space with me.
Thanks for coming and interviewing me. This is so much fun.
Yeah.